And there we have it, Hilary Clinton, one of the presidential candidates for the presidency of the United States, gave her final speech after a very difficult race in regards to the elections to the presidency of the United States of America. Yet she addressed everything she should have addressed from the very beginning, and that she never mentioned. For example, mentioning how she wants to work together, etc., etc. However, that's wonderful. And in fact, I think that she could have been the president of the United States if it wasn't because she aligned with what everybody in the United States don't like. Yes, we do not like what has been going on with the Obama administration. We do not like what has been happening to marriage, what has been happening to women's rights, which has been basically overtaken by a libertarian or with a totalitarian thing that you must do what we said, as opposed to allow people to have the freedom to make the choices under what is right and what is not right. Obviously, they were trying to make right what has never been right. And so she alienated herself, protecting a particular group of people who are actually a minority, really a minority, but not in the terms of like color or language or race, but rather of sexual likes or sexual orientation. And so here we have the reason why Hillary Clinton failed for the candidacy for president of the United States. If she has not been alienated this way, she could have actually been our next president. But because she signed up for the agenda of this particular group of many letters, there you have it. She failed. And it is really surprising that at the end of her speech, she wanted to and referred to the Bible as a way to inspire who knows what. It's really a statement that made me upset, because all throughout her campaign, she talked about abortion and how she will continue to fund things to devalue our Christian values in this nation. So here we have it again, the population. And this is almost equal, almost the same percentage. But you can see that the majority of the people has always been Christian, has always held Christian values. And regardless of whether people are sarcastic and upfront with their issues, they go back to their basics, which is their religious values. And regardless of what's happening, they will not be demoralizing their nation. They will not be an empowering their nation. And basically, it is my opinion that if we have continued the same Democrats view that is being taken over the party of the Democrat Party, we will be demising the United States of America. And we needed a stronger, more oriented Christian values. We need to defend our Christian values, not to devalue us. We are a nation with values, not a nation with not values. We're not a nation that is kind of discovering values. No, we're not an atheist country as well. But back with the Democrats, that was the ruling, that was taking over. And so we're going to have a different kind of view of what it is to be the nation. It's the spirit of the law, but let's put it this way, totally changed with the Democrats, and now with the Republicans. Things we don't know what it's going to be. Obviously, there's many people who are fearful, especially people who, we don't care about this group of people who are trying to get totalitarian control of every single aspect of our society against Christianity. All right, we're not worried about that, because we know that that's over. That's gone with the Republican on the House now, having the control of the House, having the control of the presidency. We know that those moral and ethical issues are going to be gone. That headache is going to be gone. Now we have to focus on making sure that this president-elect respects human rights, respects civil liberties, upholds the Constitution, and makes America great, as he has said it. Hopefully not to the expense of making other people suffering. I don't know. I don't think that we ever will go to a nation that doesn't respect its citizens. So I don't think that's going to happen. But particularly, this is going to favor many Christian people in the United States who, for the last 8 or and even during the Bush administration, the last Bush administration, it was controlled by the Democrats, and many things were according to the Democrats, who were overtaken and possessed by this view of how libertarianism it was supposed to take in place. I was checking all the presidential candidates, and none of them, except for Macmillan, except for him, I personally would have voted for Macmillan, because he uphold kind of Democrat values that I like, and then Republican values that I like as well. And so I knew from the very beginning that, given my Christian values, I could not possibly support any of the Democratic any of the Democratic potentials, or those Republicans who were also into the same boat. And so I did not want to do that, and I wanted to align with someone who has Christian values. And believe me, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, now president-elect, in regards to how he referred to women, how he referred to immigrants, especially Mexicans. And there is kind of certain truth about the Muslim and the Islam situation, because we're a Christian nation, all right? And we cannot allow that belief, those kind of religious whatever, to take over ours. No, that's impossible. We're a Christian value. And I'm glad this shift is happening, because it's the shift that the country needed. It's how the country thinks and has always been thinking. But those who were in the government abused their power and became very corrupt, and even approved things that the people were not in agreement, and went on against the majority. For example, I live in California, and many of these things were against the majority, and they were imposed onto us Californians. And many other laws were imposed into the United States, such as with the federal government and the federal judges, when they simply overlook the real constitutional undermines, the real constitutional reasons why something should not be approved. And anyways, these judges that were appointed during the Obama administration made sure that those things against the will of the people pass. And so I'm thankful that this new president-elect is going to elect federal judges who have the mind of the Constitution, upholding the Constitution. My worries about the new president-elect will be, he comes from a business world where making money is the best, and maybe we're gonna get a huge surprise. There is a cost to this recovering of religious and civil liberties that we enjoy prior to the Obama administration, and that's going to have a costly cost, perhaps something very economically difficult for everybody in general, and many sufferings in that sense, economical or financial, and perhaps some casualties given wars or some other conflicts. I hope and pray that that doesn't happen. But again, I want to commend all of those who voted for Donald Trump. It was very painful to vote for this president, because we knew there were things that we didn't like about him, but we like other things that really call our attention, and we were looking for a way to get back at these laws that were imposed onto us, our nation. And so Donald Trump is that manifestation of the people. Many commentaries and other news call him a populist, and that's exactly what it is. He's a populist because he spoke the will of the majority of the people. So again, I hope he really makes America great again. Thank you.